Hi guys and gals and everyone. I hope that you are doing very, very well. I don't know if you're going to see this video, but if you do, stick around. This video, I feel like I just kind of like realized something, and I don't know if you guys have realized it yet, so I just thought I would kind of make a video about it. It's kind of a video about like how to find yourself. Which this might sound very stupid, so bear with me, but I kind of realized something today. I was at the beach with a friend, or some friends, and then I was basically at the beach, and I basically parked really far away, like 30 minutes away, and I put on music, and I listened, and I enjoyed just walking to the beach, and I've been recently coming around videos about shadow work, and it's okay if you don't know what any of this is, but shadow work and stuff, and I think I kind of just realized like how to find yourself. So if you're ever feeling lost, if you're ever feeling angry with yourself, very mad at yourself, very uncomfy with yourself, very hard on yourself, you know, that feeling when you're just like, why am I not doing anything right? Why am I so miserable? Why am I depressed? Why am I, you know, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. You know, like when you have those thoughts in your head. I don't know about you, but I have those a lot of the time. And I did for like definitely last 6 months, because it's been a really hard time of my life. Something clicked to me today, and this doesn't mean that like life is gonna be better, but my mom used to say this saying, and I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's like, don't listen to what people tell you they want, look at what they have, that's what they really want. And I used to be like, okay, that sounds very simple, right? Like it sounds very simple to like see that, and you know, you're like, okay, that's like a good excuse if you're like very, you know, well off. It makes sense. You're like, oh, I deserve this, right? Because I worked really hard and I wanted it. And then you're like, oh, the poor people, they didn't. Touche. But something kind of clicked to me today about that saying. Look at what people have, not what they say they want. I was watching this video kind of on Facebook, and it was all about shadow work, which is basically this idea that, you know, when you're working on yourself, like reading self-help books, like positivity, you're working on this part of you that is trying to become better. The things that you love about yourself, right? You're like, what do you love about yourself? Think about it, like, what do you love about yourself right now? Is it the way you look? Is it the way you treat people? Is it the way, what work you do? Is it where you live? There should be things that you love about yourself. So just think about those things, okay? Now, those things that you probably love about yourself, you probably push really hard on yourself to do more of, right? Like, for instance, for me, I love that I am kind to people. I love that I write. I love that I do all these things, right? It's really good to live in that place, right? Because you're like, oh, I do love myself for these things. That's not new, okay? So I get it. That's self-love, right? Loving yourself. I always thought that's how you find yourself. But what I was realizing today is, I think, and after watching that video for like shadow work, which is the opposite of that, I think finding yourself is the opposite of that. I think finding yourself and loving yourself is this just bear with me, please bear with me. I'm trying to explain this, articulate this, but I just realized that there's a reason why we're where we are right now, and there's a lot that you're running from. There's a lot that you aren't even aware you're running from. There's a lot of things that you hold tension for, and there's a lot of things that you are really hard on yourself about. And I think I used to think that how to find yourself was to run away from that, was to pick who you are and choose to go after the really good things, the things that you like about yourself, right? Like, why not just embody that? But you become really miserable when you do that. And it's because you're ignoring a really big part of you. There's not a part of you that absolutely wants to do your job. There isn't a part of you that absolutely wants to love the person you're loving. There's not a part of you that absolutely wants to make a lot of money. There's not a part of you that really wants to have kids. There's not a whole part of you that wants to be where you are right now, doing what you're doing right now. And I don't know about you, but for me, I usually try to convince myself that that is all that I want. That I do want to be in LA. That's where I am. That I do want to be doing this job. That I do want to be doing this, blah, 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 blah. That I do want to be single. That I do want to be creating art. That I do. And today something clicked where I realized there's a part of me that doesn't. And there's a part of you that doesn't. And I kind of encourage you to see this person. I was watching this video and they said when you do shadow work, it was, and I'm really, really being very, very vague, and this probably isn't right, so don't come at me, but it's just like, and I didn't think you would, because we're in open space and very kind to each other, but I just like, what they were saying is that you have to kind of ask yourself like what you're running away from. What are you most ashamed of? And then to like visualize that as a person, yourself, and basically try and see what that thing is asking from you. And most of the time it's just to say, I accept you and I see you and you're still part of me. It's almost like they said this analogy. It's like, you know, when you're in like middle school or whatever. Okay, imagine there's like the popular kids and then there's like the outcast. Well, inside of you, you have the popular kids, all the things you want to see about yourself, right? It's like, what are you doing really good and how you want the world to see you. And then you have this unpopular kid that you're kind of like shoving and ignoring because you don't want to be around them. They're ugly. They're not fun. They're not cool. But this little outsider is a part of you, whether you want to admit it or not. And when you don't allow yourself to even acknowledge that part, you're not yourself. And that's why you're not yourself. That's why you haven't been yourself. That's why you don't feel like you're yourself. It's not because you're not doing the right things. It's not because you're trying hard enough. No, you're trying so hard. It's just that you aren't allowing yourself to see your full self. You're not allowing yourself to see your shadow self. You're not allowing to see yourself in the opposites of everything you do. So for instance, like whatever you say you love doing, or you've convinced yourself. So I'll give you an example. For me, I was saying, you know, how I'm like, I love that I'm in LA and I'm independent. Okay, but there's a part of me that doesn't like that I'm in LA. There's a part of me that doesn't like I'm independent. There's a part of me that doesn't like that I'm an artist. And today it was weird. I was walking on the beach and I just kind of allowed myself to kind of realize that and say, hey, I see that. And I see you. I love you. You're okay. And I kind of question you and I encourage you to think about like whatever you're telling yourself right now, just say, hey, I also don't want that. Or when you say, or if there's something that you say, I don't want that, say, I actually do want that. Where I go, I don't want to be broke, but there's a part of me that does. I don't want to be single, but there's a part of me that does. And it might not make sense, but even just by doing that, it's gonna release something because you're kind of realizing that you have been hiding from something. And I think that will bring you peace, allow you to find yourself, because you'll realize you're in the middle of all this. And it's not you deciding which way you go. It's not deciding, oh, are you an artist? Or are you not an artist? This is not deciding, oh, are you single? Or are you not single? It's deciding, hey, I know that there's both sides of me, but I think I really want to go for this. And so you looking at the other side, the shadow side, and being like, I hear you, I see you, and I'm going to protect you. But we're going to go try this, okay? And I know you're not going to be comfy. I know you're not cool. I know it's going to be weird to like try and fit in with us, but you belong and we'll make you feel comfortable. And I think that's for everything. And it's like it could really be for anything. It's like part of me, I want to be cool, but then part of me like doesn't want to be cool. I hope this is making sense. I don't know if it is, but there's power in realizing that there's a whole opposite side of you that you haven't tapped into. So all the decisions you make, just there's part of you that wants the opposite. And obviously the part of you, the majority part of you is taking over. So like, for instance, the reason where you are is because the majority of you wants to do that. But still the part of you that doesn't is still you. And most of the time it just wants to be acknowledged and seen and cared for. It doesn't want to be neglected. It doesn't want to be forgotten about. You yourself as like two different people. I was listening to, I guess I'm just sharing a lot with you. I was listening to Taylor Swift when I was walking back on the beach because she's in town on her concert, and I was listening to Love Story, and I wrote this down. I'm writing a journal for my next screenplay with all these different ideas, and I wrote down this thing that I realized that every love song, it can actually be a love song for yourself. Every love song that you ever hear, it's basically a love song about finding yourself. So like for Taylor Swift, like I was on the phone with your boyfriend, she's upset, or girlfriend, she's upset. Tell me about something that you did. I'll never leave your story like I do. Like you'll never know her story. It's like, because you belong with me, you belong with me. That song, you can think of it as like I wrote this, like yourself, and then you're like your true self. It's like, you belong with me. And the other girlfriend's like, you trying to get affection from someone else, but like, you're on the phone with your girlfriend, she's upset, so you're like worried about someone else. Trouble that you did, and she'll never get your story like I do. So no one will ever get your story like you do. I'm in my room, it's a typical Tuesday night. I'm listening to the kind of things she doesn't like, and you'll never get your story like I do. So they're muttering. Well, she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. She's cheer captain now, I'm on the bleachers. Wonder about the day when you may find that what you're looking for has been here the whole time. If you could see that I'm the one who understands you, been here all along, so why can't you see? You belong with me. You belong with me. Like, when are you to realize that who you belong with is yourself? Is that shadow self? Is your self? Is your self? You belong with you. You belong with you. So maybe when you're feeling lost, or you're feeling really hard on yourself, just switch it. Saying I should do this, say why there's part of me that doesn't want to do it, and acknowledge that part. Just acknowledge it. And I think that's where that stems from, the whole saying of like, you really are, people have what they have, like want what they have, because there's part of them, this is the secret, there's part of them, whether they know or not, that doesn't want the next thing. They're happy where they are now. Because if they really want the next thing, they'll be there. I think that's why people don't succeed, is because the part of them doesn't want to. No one ever talks about that. And I can tell you why I wouldn't want to succeed. I don't like the idea that I'm following into this like footsteps of society. it's like, oh, I have to go these next steps, really like hurt myself, really like strive and suffer to get to this next level, when I could just enjoy life right now. Like, why would I do that? And growing up, you like, as a kid, you're like, oh well, why wouldn't I do that? You know, that's what all the successful people do, and that's what I want to be. Like, look at these idols. But when you grow up, you realize, even if you're an idol, it doesn't make you happy. It doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you kinder. If you're working towards that, your daily life is gonna suck a bit. So it's just all about figuring out what you want. But I hope you found this kind of helpful, because it's just something I noticed recently. And you know, we might not be on the same wavelengths, and you might just totally not understand or agree with me. But I think that's something really important, is just knowing what you're running away from, but like all the things that you like, that you're proud about yourself, that you're happy about. Just know that there's a other side of you that isn't. You are so balanced, and I think we forget that. And I'm balanced too, and I forget that. I think that with my, and you can think about whatever you want, but for me, I think about like with sexuality and stuff. I think about like, oh, I'm really into guys. You're really into guys. Oh, you're so attracted to guys. But then there's part of me being like, but you're also not. And a lot of the time I ignore that part of me because it confuses me, it scares me. But it's there. And just because it's there doesn't mean I have to do anything about it, but I just have to acknowledge that it's there. And when I acknowledge it's there, I go, oh, that's me. That's Nick. Nick likes these people, but he also doesn't. He also likes these people. Why do I have to pick? Think about you. Whoever you are, your friends. You like your best friend a lot. But also part of you kind of doesn't. You and your job. Part of you hates your job, but also part of you kind of likes it. Which one takes over right now is your opinion, and it's up to you, sort of. But just know that you are so balanced. And like, I think that's why when you grow up, you kind of realize that when you make a decision, it's not really black or white anymore. It's not really like I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this. It's more like your light self and your dark self are both kind of going to push you there. I think when you acknowledge your dark self, not your dark self, but you know, like the things you're hiding, I think it allows you to kind of just, you accept, and then you can kind of just accept also the light stuff. You're not doing it as a vice. You're not doing it as a vice, as a vice, as a vice. So yeah, this might have been very stupid, but I hope you kind of got it a little bit. I just realized this today, so thought I might as well share with you guys. As always, if you want to leave a like, that would mean the world to me. Comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Do you kind of understand what I'm coming from? Do you agree? Is this totally mind-boggling? Do you have any experience with this? Or am I just completely ridiculous and I'm just jabbering and you just really like the ramble? If you made it this far, if you could leave our mascot, a bee emoji, that'd be great, just so I know that you're flying around and living life as you should. But I hope this helped you. If you're having trouble finding yourself, look at the opposite of what you're doing and accept and see that there's part of you that could be doing the opposite. And realize that person exists. And that's you. Because you belong with you. And that's part of you, and you need that person. That part of you needs to be with you. We're not going to exclude them. They're literally a part of you. They need to be with you on this journey. So it's okay if you have self-doubt. If there's going to be days where you just don't think that what you're doing is the right thing. Yeah, because that's when you have your shadow self with you, and that's when you're your full self. You're never going to be fully confident. You could be more than 50% confident, and that's awesome. That's what we'll work towards. But this is why you're never going to be confident. This is why you're never going to be fully sure about anything, because who you really are is a mixture of both. You're going to be confident and not confident. And the day when you are blindly confident about something is the day when you're not really who you are. You're not yourself anymore. And just, I hope that brings you peace. It might sound scary, but if you actually do it, it's really peaceful, because you realize that you're kind of everything. There's no reason to choose, because you're going to be with yourself the entire time. You're going to have your yes and your no the entire time. And it's all a part of you. You can't exclude one. And when you do, that's when you become miserable. That's when you become sad. And that's when you feel like you've lost yourself. Yeah. Thought I'd share. Have a wonderful night, a wonderful life. Remember to be weird, be kind to others, and remember to be yourself. Life is so short. You are so loved. And not only are you going to do great things, you've been doing a lot of great things that a lot of people haven't noticed. But I see it, and everyone in this hive sees it as well. So, rest easy. Try to enjoy life. And I'll see you in my next video, my friend.